Hope everyone's having a great day today. So I'm going to be talking about some key reasons of why you as a buyer need to go directly to the listing agent and not have a buyer's agent. And here are the reasons why. So as a buyer, negotiating directly with the listing agent is a benefit because you have direct communication. Having direct communication is a very crucial part of the deal. You're not going to deal with a buyer's agent that's given secondhand information or their interpretation. You get it directly from the listing agent for you to make a better decision on what you're doing in the deal. As a buyer, you're going to have the insight to the seller's motivation by asking key questions to the listing agent. Why are they selling? What's the reason for the price point? The condition issues. Are they moving? These simple questions and other questions you can think of with the motivation of why the seller is selling the property will help you make a better determination on your offer and how you can negotiate. So having this information up hand in front of you will make a better decision in the long term when it comes to the deal. So keep that in mind as well. That's very important that you find out the insight of the seller's motivation. So here's a big one. As a buyer, talking to the listing agent, potential cost savings. You as a buyer don't have a buyer's agent, so therefore they're not part of that factor. You're going directly to the listing agent. So you are saving the seller money because you can negotiate that part of the commission or let the listing agent know that there's no buyer's agent involved, there's no commission being paid to a buyer's agent. So that money can in essence go towards your closing costs, seller's concessions. So there is some savings indirectly. As long as you know how to communicate this information is very important. It can help you. That's another good reason and tactic of going directly to the listing agent. Also back last year in August, they did pass a law that buyer pays buyer's agent. Now, it is kind of on the gray line because you still can get a commission from the listing agent, but this buyer pays buyer's agent commission will not be a factor in this deal because you don't have a buyer's agent. So that's another important thing. It's how you communicate these key points to the listing agent and letting them know that you're aware and educated about how you're going to negotiate this deal because there is no buyer's agent. So keep that in mind as well, potential cost savings. Another great thing about talking directly to the listing agent as a buyer is faster negotiation. You're already talking to the source. You don't need to talk to a buyer's agent. You don't have one. You hear it directly from the source, from the listing agent, faster negotiation. You can get the deal faster. You can get it under contract faster. You can close faster. You're not getting secondhand information. So talking directly to the source, you will have faster negotiation. And as long as you're very clear with your motives and what you want to do, and how you can always let them know that you're not using a buyer's agent, they're going to be more motivated, the listing agent, to help you out. So that's another key point. Another great thing, access to the market knowledge. Listing agents should know their market. They have that property listed in that neighborhood. They should know the local neighborhood, that farm area. So for example, if you have a buyer's agent from Ormond Beach and you're looking for homes in Daytona or Port Orange, they might not know that area, they might not know that neighborhood or the values, they have to look it up and research. So going directly to the listing agent, they already have that information most likely because they have that listing, they've done their research. So that's another key factor of why you need to go to the listing agent. As a buyer, you want flexibility in terms, and what I mean by that, going directly to the listing agent, you're going to be able to maybe get a better closing date, contingencies taken care of faster, concessions, credits, and don't forget, if you had a buyer's agent, someone needs to pay that buyer's agent. So it's either coming from you, it's coming from the seller, but someone needs to pay that buyer's agent. So if you as a buyer are paying the buyer's agent, then if you're doing financing like conventional or FHA, that could throw off your debt to ratio. That's an extra closing cost that you have to take care of. Or if you're paying the buyer's agent, then in turn you might want to put a lower offer on the property and the seller might not accept it. So it's always a good idea to go directly to the source, to the listing agent, for these key reasons. Keep that in mind. Another important part of the negotiation as a buyer is clarifying offer details. Do you really want to get secondhand information from the buyer's agent who had just talked to the listing agent? or you want to get it directly from the source. That way you can take notes, you hear it firsthand. What happens if the buyer agent is taking notes or doesn't catch certain details of the offer or the deal? It could cost you money or time. So you want to make sure that you talk directly to the listing agent, clarify the offer, and the listing agent wants to work with you because it's easier than going through a buyer's agent. Of course, this is how I look at things as a listing agent, and I think as a buyer, you will save money, and these are very important details and factors. So if you have any other questions, I'm Peter. Please subscribe and have a great day. I'm with Never 6% Realty.